Hey guys, Neely here, and I am coming in for an Instant Pot recipe today. I was about to make some pork stew with sweet potatoes and black beans, and I wanted to share it with you guys. I have a couple of pounds of pork meat. It's a pork sirloin roast that I just chopped up to use for stew meat, and it's 2 pounds. And then I have all my other ingredients here. I just put in a teaspoon of avocado oil into my pot and turned on the saute mode, and I turned it to the hottest setting. So when you turn on the saute mode, you hit saute and then you press the adjust button. It's the one that says the word adjust on it, and then it'll go to a higher setting or more on the front of the Instant Pot. So it is hot, so I am going to go ahead and just sprinkle my meat with salt and pepper and some Tony Chachere's seasoning, and then start getting that cooked up. If you're in a rush, you can skip this step of browning the meat first and just throw everything into the pot. It just gives it a little bit more flavor to brown the meat first. This is the Tony Chachere's seasoning that I use. I love it. It gives great flavor. If you don't have it, you can just add a little extra salt, and it will not be a big deal. I'm just going to sprinkle my meat with that and then get it in the pot and get it to start browning up. The meat has been browning in the pot for about 10 minutes and it looks pretty well cooked, no more pink. So I'm going to go ahead and add my other seasonings. I'm going to do a tablespoon of chili powder and a tablespoon of Italian seasoning. And I'm also going to add my 1 cup of diced onions. These are frozen. I had them, but you can use fresh as well. I just had them in the freezer, needed to use them up. Add 1 cup of those, and then also I'm going to add my 7-ounce can of mild diced green chilies, and I'm going to just let that saute for just maybe 2 minutes. Now I'm going to add all the rest of the ingredients except for one. This is the cilantro that I'm going to sprinkle on top afterwards, so that's the only thing I am saving at this point. I'm going to add 2 cups of broth. If you don't have broth on hand, you can use water as well. It will still work fine. And then I have about 2 cups of diced up tomatoes. If you don't have fresh tomatoes, I just happen to have a bunch from the garden right now, so I have fresh ones, but typically if it's not garden tomato time, I would use 1 can of canned tomatoes. Now I'm going to add my 3 cups of black beans, and of course these are black beans that I cooked in my Instant Pot from dry, but 3 cups is about the equivalent of 2 cans of black beans. You just want to rinse them, or drain them and rinse them before you put them in. And I'm just going to give this a quick stir to get everything mixed up here. And then the last thing I'm just going to add on top, I'm not going to mix these in. This is the sweet potatoes. I am using white sweet potatoes, but the orange ones of course will work just fine as well. This is just what I happened to pick up at the store. And I don't want these to become mush in the soup. They will cook very fast, and so I'm just going to lay them on top and not mix them down to the bottom, so hopefully they'll kind of keep their shape a little bit. So there it is. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the saute mode, and then I am going to put my lid on, make sure my sealing gasket is all the way on as it should be. Everything's put together just right. Put the lid on, put it to sealing. I am going to put it on manual for 15 minutes. Everything is pretty much fully cooked. The meat needs to cook a little bit more, but the beans are cooked. And then the sweet potatoes, they'll cook very fast. There's not a lot that needs to really take a lot of time to cook. So I'm just going to do 15 minutes and let it do its thing. I'll let it natural pressure release, and then I will show you the finished product when it's done. It is all done. It has been on keep warm mode for about almost 30 minutes. And I'm just opening it up here. See what we got. Looks delicious. The sweet potatoes, they did get pretty soft, but they're still formed a tiny bit, but they're going to kind of mush a little bit as I stir through here. There we go. It looks delicious, and it'll look even more beautiful when there's the fresh bit of cilantro on top. Give it a nice green color. Ooh, doesn't that look pretty? And then also I wanted to mention this would be amazing with like a dollop of sour cream, or if you want to keep it low fat or in the THM-E category, if you're on the THM diet, you could do like a dollop of 0% Greek yogurt. It would be delicious. And of course, at this point, you want to taste it and see if it needs any more salt or pepper or any other seasonings. I will put down below all the measurements and the recipe and also the nutritional information. I ran it through the recipe analyzer, whatever you want to call it. I use Spark People recipes. It's amazing for figuring out nutrition information for recipes. And I will put all that info down below. This makes about 8 servings. If you're on the THM plan, 1/8 of this recipe is perfect for an E meal. And I'm about to dig in for lunch. It's just 12:02, time for lunch. So I am going to dish myself out some and have a great lunch. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you use it. And yeah, I will talk to you again sometime soon. Bye guys.